Should you find a new doctor? Hi, I'm Tom, and this is my carnivore journey. So, when I first started eating saturated fats, my doctor, did all my blood work and everything come back real good. And, well, what kind of diet do you eat? And I told her, and she's like, oh, you need to stop eating saturated fats. I'm like, why? All my numbers are good. Oh, it's not good for you. I now have a different doctor. So, I think a lot of physicians follow what the American Medical Association teaches them, and I think it's their duty and responsibility to be informed, and part of that means educating themselves on diet and nutrition, and not just what they're being taught, but what the science actually says. And I think a lot of people get into trouble when they follow everything the doctor says, because there's too many instances of people that have obesity and diabetes and depression, anxiety, just a whole plethora of issues, and they keep getting prescriptions, and maybe they change prescription because this one isn't working, so I'm going to get this one, and this one works, and they're on 5 or 6 medications, and out of desperation they decide to do their own research and try different things, and they land on either keto or carnivore, and all of a sudden their symptoms improve and they're coming off medication. So what does that say about our medical community, that they're not educating themselves on what's happening? And I think if you're going to a physician who is not up to speed on what's happening, or is at least open to the idea that something like this can help, then I think you really need to reevaluate your physician. I remember hearing one of the doctors talk about on their video, when your doctor talks about cholesterol and saturated fats causing coronary heart disease, is ask one question to your doctor. And that question is, show me a randomized control study that proves that saturated fat causes coronary heart disease. There isn't any. It's all based on a hypothesis. We've been following a hypothesis since the 1960s. And this is what's contributed to all of our health issues. And if doctors are still following this and not following the science and the studies that have been done that prove that seed oils, refined carbs, and sugars are the real culprits behind this, then they're not serving their patients like they should be. And, I'm not a doctor or a nutritionist or that, but the evidence out there is overwhelming for what this diet does for people. And you can't ignore that. And I think it's just a matter of time before things start to shift. And it's going to be a gradual shift. It's not going to be an overnight thing. But you really have to question if your physician is nothing but a prescription doctor. Is he really serving your best interest with your health? And that's a conversation you need to have with your physician. And it needs to be open and honest with them, and point them at the studies and the different physicians out there who are adopting this type of treatments. So you have a choice. You can either continue to pop pills and listen to what they're telling you and continue to suffer, or you can make a change and find someone who's in line with what is happening and can help you fix whatever's wrong with your body, help you lose weight, help you get off medications. This is a matter of life and death for a lot of people, and to blindly follow what someone is telling you isn't necessarily a good thing. And it used to be that we trusted our physicians, we trusted our government to give us the right answers and to look out for our best interests. But the money machine of big pharma, big food, has really corrupted all of that. And it's a shame because we used to have the best healthcare system in the world, and we don't anymore. We don't have the healthiest population. We don't have the smartest people anymore. And I attribute a lot of that to diet and nutrition. There's other circumstances that contribute to that, but I think that's a driving force behind all of it. But you know, you take it for what it's worth. Some people watch this and go, nope, I'm just going to follow my doctor because he's been trained and so on and so forth. And, you know, if that's your stance, then that's fine. But at some point, you're going to come to the end of your ropes and be tired of being sick and tired. And you're going to eventually do your homework and figure it out for yourself. So, you know, like I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I know what works for me. I know what works for a lot of other people. So do your homework. That's all I can tell you. If you don't want to be sick and tired anymore or have mental issues, then start researching keto and carnivore and make a decision for yourself as to what's best for you. Hope you enjoyed this video. Leave some comments down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll try to respond as best I can. Have a great day.